In this video we're going to make this little village. It's a fairly simple project. There's a lot of internal cuts, but they're not too difficult. The most difficult cuts is the real thick hardwood. There's some oak and some other unknown woods in there, but I know there's two. Those two right there are, one on the left and the tall one, are oak. They're fairly hard to cut, but I made it through it, and I'll show you how I did it, so stay tuned and we'll look at the pattern and the materials. Well, for this little project, I've got several different types of wood here. Not sure what all that is. This looks like walnut. It looks like it could be maple. Anyway, these are domestic woods, as far as I know. I've also got a little bit of other scrap over here, but what it requires is you got the patterns for these little chalets. You can make as many of them as you want, but they're supposed to be 3/4 inch. This stuff is a little thicker than 3/4. It's not standard thickness. It's not quite an inch, but it's a little thicker than 3/4. I don't have in a lot of this one. This little piece is 3/4. You can see, I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's a difference there. There's quite a bit of difference right there. Anyway, so, and the roof, the little roof on these things is supposed to be a little wider. It's supposed to be a little wider than the body of the thing. So what I did is I took some 1/2 inch, and I think it was slightly larger than 1/2 inch, and I layered it, so that'll make it a little bit thicker than that, which you kind of want it to stick out over the side a little bit. And so that's what I'm going to cut the roofs out of. Okay, so what I've done is I've printed out 3 copies of each page of the patterns, and I've matched them up in a way so I can cut 2 of them at a time, or 3 out of 1 piece of wood. Then I've taken the doors and windows, and I've matched them up with the chalet I want them to go with. That way when I can take these and put them on a piece of contrasting wood that'll work with this wood, or this wood, whatever. I can mix and match and have something in mind when I cut it, exactly how I want them to look. Then I'm going to mark them so I'll know what goes with which one. And so now I got to break these down. So I've got them marked a little bit about where I want to cut them and mount the patterns. And then I've got to mark these so I'll know which color wood I want to put with which chalet. So I'll figure that out and mark those so I can know where they go, and then we'll cut them and put them all together. I got all these patterns mounted, and I got the holes drilled. I'm going to cut these internal cuts with a pinless number 9 blade, because this one's not too bad, but some of the other chunks are really heavy and dense, and they're going to be fairly hard to cut. So I'm going to get a larger blade on these. I'm going to cut the outsides with a pinned-in blade of number 12. It'll be a little more aggressive. I believe I can make a smooth cut with a little more speed on it, if I can keep it from burning the blade. But I'm going to start cutting all the inner ones with this number 9 blade, and then I'll switch my blade out and I'll cut the external parts. This one is the toughest one to cut. It's a very heavy board. It's very dense. I believe it's oak. It smells like oak when it's cutting. It's a piece I got in a seconds package. It wasn't marked as to species, but it sure feels and looks and smells like oak. Blade doesn't want to track top to bottom, so I'm going to have to slow down cutting a little bit. But I don't have a lot left to cut out, just 4 more cuts. It's cutting pretty nicely. It's nice and smooth. It's not getting hot. It's really hard to track. So very dense wood, and it wants to grab in different areas, especially switching between grain directions. But it's still going to cut out nicely, I believe. You see, I'm trying to stay on the inside of that line because little windows and doors you're going to glue will fit to that dotted line. Trying to make sure I give plenty of area to glue in. But so far I like the way it's cutting. It tracked pretty well on that one, and it's nice and smooth. So I switched the blade over to a pinned end blade. It's a number 12. This external cuts are nice and straight. Especially on that oak, I want it nice and smooth. Hopefully I can spin this fast enough to get a good smooth cut. Anyway, we're going to try it out. As you can see, I tried to make use of the edge of the board with a pattern wherever possible. Those are nice straight cuts made on a table saw. And it saves me some cutting time here on these big straight cuts. Yeah, this maple is cutting real nicely. It just didn't cut real smooth, and that's the nature of the blade I have in there. I've got to sand these sides anyway around them up, but it's cutting nice and straight, and it's not getting hot. Yeah, that one just insisted on trying to follow the grain. It'll take a little sanding to smooth that back down to the line, but that's very doable. And I'm trying to leave just a little bit on the outside of that line so I can take it to the sander and finish it off. It's going to look really nice when I put a final sand on it. I'll switch blades now back to a 3. I'm going to cut out all these little small windows and doors. There's 4 of them there. I had a series of holes that I drilled with 3/16 and a 1/4 inch Forstner bits, but they'll be on another piece. I'm going to start this. This is some rosewood. I'm going to cut out these 2 doors and these 2 windows, and got several of these to cut out, so we're going to start here. And just as I tried to cut to the inside of the line here to make sure I had plenty of space on the outside for these to glue to, I'm cutting to the outside of the line here a little bit to make sure I have plenty of material and overlap there, that I don't cut it short anywhere. So there is the finished product. I'm really kind of pleased with them, the way they turned out. Kind of an abstract Christmas village, or stylized, whatever you want to call it. I don't really call it a Christmas village, but that's the way I see it. So hope you enjoy this sort of thing. I'm trying to get a little bit more towards Christmas as the year wears on. Hopefully I'll find some other projects. This one's something different for me. I've never done anything like this one before. My wife has already claimed this, and she may do some other changes as far as painting or whatever. But if you like that, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and leave a comment if you have anything to say about it, any suggestions or ideas for other videos. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.